All right, let's talk about some clothing and accessory purchases that seemed like a great idea at the time, but ended up being a waste of money. Actually, most of these weren't really a waste of money, but I'll explain why at the end. Starting with my first custom jacket. After college, I worked for this small communications agency, and even though I was junior level, I occasionally had to meet with clients. I decided that I need a couple of sport coats or blazers because I didn't yet understand that dressing up does not equal dressing well. So I went to the same tailor that my dad had been using for years, Christopher Kim, in the fancy DuPont Circle neighborhood of Washington, D.C. And I spent like $600 on these two jackets. The construction was great, the fabric was very nice, but the fit was way off. These jackets had wide, padded shoulders. They were cut full through the chest and the stomach, and the overall length was way too long for my shorter build. They were probably a size 38 with a couple of alterations like shortened sleeves. Little did I know, I really needed like a 34 short. I didn't understand back then that fit was more important than fabric or color or price or brand. The thing is, this tailor, Christopher Kim, was a nice guy, and he was actually a good fit for my dad, who had a stockier build than I did and a more conservative sense of style because he worked as a consultant in Washington, D.C. But he wasn't a great fit for me. I did wear these jackets quite a lot, but I never really felt good in them. I didn't understand why, but now I know. Speaking of fit, regret number 2 is skinny fit pants. So I started learning about improving my personal style during the #menswear era, which was in the early to mid 20-teens. During this time, slim and skinny fits were all the rage. I'd never worn close-fitting clothing like in high school or college, so I was reluctant to get on board with this trend. But once I tried it, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm a thin guy, I have pretty skinny legs, so for me, putting on a pair of slim or even skinny jeans just felt like wearing jeans that finally fit properly. These pants looked on me the way that regular fit pants look on regular shaped guys. But I'll admit, I took it too far. I bought some pants that were just too skinny. Specifically, I had a pair of skinny stretch jeans from The Gap and skinny fit chinos from Uniqlo, and these were the tightest pants I'd ever bought. I got a ton of wear out of both of them, but I wouldn't wear them now. They weren't quite as timeless as I thought they were. In fact, nowadays, I think I'd find them pretty uncomfortable even on my slender little chicken legs. Don't get me wrong, I'm still not a fan of super baggy pants. But my silhouette has definitely loosened up over the past couple of years, and honestly, it's pretty comfortable. Regret number 3, Alden Indie boots. Another popular millennial fashion staple circa 2014 was the heritage boot. Now, I don't mean to imply that these aren't cool anymore. There's always going to be a demand for high-quality heritage menswear. There are niche communities that get really into this stuff, and I get it. There's something about a really nice pair of leather boots. And the grail boot like 10 years ago was the Alden Indie. These were a cut above all the other brands like Iron Ranger and Wolverine. But man, they were so expensive, like $500-600 plus, and where I lived, there was nowhere to try them on in person. So I ordered a gently used pair from Grailed that technically fit properly, but the thing was, they were just never comfortable. I don't think they were too big or too small on paper like according to the Brannick device, it's just that specific last didn't work well for my feet. But I thought they were so cool. I needed that sweet male fashion advice karma. I really wanted them to work, so I did wear them quite a few times for a few months before finally giving up on them and just reselling them on Grailed. I actually ended up wearing a much cheaper pair from Thursday Boots for many years, and even though the quality wasn't as good as Alden, obviously they were a third the price, they were a lot more comfortable. So just because something is popular or desirable doesn't mean that it's the best choice for you. Regret number 4. Designer glasses. I never needed glasses until my mid-20s when I noticed that far away objects looked just a little bit blurry. To this day, I had the same very mild prescription, and I pretty much only wear glasses when I'm like driving at night or at a movie theater. When I bought my first pair, I made the mistake of going to a glasses shop in a really nice neighborhood. I didn't have much money back then, and there were no online brands like Warby Parker where you could do free home try-ons. You had to go to a store. So I'm at this store in this bougie neighborhood, seated across from an eccentric sales lady. I can still see her spiky blonde hair and distinct aquiline features. She's bringing over various frames to try on, not really talking about price just yet. I have no idea what looks good on me, but I kind of like the two-tone color of these guys. And this lady is really selling them. Like once she sees that I like them, she's like, oh yeah, they look amazing. You look great. So I bought them, and after adding in the prescription lenses and taxes, they were over $400. I tried to play cool at the cash register, but honestly, I felt kind of nauseous. I wore these glasses mostly because I couldn't afford another pair. Obviously, I still have them. I actually keep them in my car just as like a backup pair in case I forget my others. But these are not the right frames for my face. The lenses are way too short, which makes my long, narrow face look even longer and narrower. Once again, I didn't understand that fit trumps everything else. And that's true even when you're buying accessories. Regret number 5, raw selvage jeans. Much like heritage boots, I always wanted to break in a pair of raw selvage denim. I saw all the sick fades that guys much cooler and attractive than myself were achieving on the internet, and I wanted to be part of that club. I tried a few times over the years to get into raw selvage denim, but it's just not comfortable, and the indigo dye gets on everything. I always gave it up. Well, one day, I'm in New York with my friend Nick from Stridewise, and he's taking me around all these high-end denim shops. I end up buying this pair from Naked and Famous. This was going to be the one. Finally, I would have my own sick fades to show off on the internet. I would have enough likes and upvotes to last a lifetime. But guess what? It turns out that being a father to 2 kids under 3 years old and living in the scorching hot Sonoran desert isn't exactly conducive to wearing raw denim every day. Like, why did I think this would be possible now when I never did it in my easy, child-free East Coast days? Bottom line, these are still brand new. Actually haven't been able to bring myself to sell or donate them because maybe one day. Regret number 6, watch straps. In the watch collecting community, there's a lot of talk about swapping out straps. Like, you're kind of encouraged not to just stick with the default strap that your watch comes with. If your watch comes with a bracelet, try it on a leather strap. If it comes on leather, put it on a nylon. Going to the beach? Put it on a tropical. Do you have both X and Y chromosomes? Buy a Bond NATO. I totally bought into this and ended up with a small army of various strap types and colors. And I like some of them, but 9 times out of 10, I prefer the strap or the bracelet that a watch comes with. And this is especially true for mid-tier or higher-end watches. But even cheap ones, like the Casio F84W or the F105, I like the strap that Casio makes. It's perfectly fine, and sometimes it's actually more durable than a strap from a third-party brand like Barton. I'm not saying you shouldn't try different watch straps, it's just that in my opinion, the enthusiasm can go a bit far. At least for me. Regret number 7, Alpha Industries Parka. As a smaller guy, I often struggled to find outerwear that actually fit my build, like that wasn't too bulky or long. This was especially true back before there were like specialty brands and custom options for guys who don't have off-the-rack builds. I spent most of my life living on the East Coast where it gets pretty cold and often snows during winter. So when I first tried on the Alpha Industries N3B Parka in slim fit, I couldn't believe it. It actually fit pretty well. It wasn't super bulky and the sleeve length was pretty good. Now at the time, the only color available in the size that I needed was this one. I really didn't like the faux military details and the bright orange accents, the shiny outer material, but I overlooked these things because the fit was decent and I really needed a heavy jacket. Every time I wore it though, it just didn't feel right. It felt like too young for me. I didn't actually like the way it looked. For that reason, I ended up getting rid of it after a couple of years. And I learned an important lesson, which is not to settle, but I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Regret number 8, the Margiela German Army trainers. I've always loved the look of German Army trainers. After testing the waters with a more affordable version, I eventually got my hands on the real deal, the Maison Margiela GAT replica. They're noticeably more high quality than the cheaper versions, and they might be the most luxurious feeling sneakers that I've ever actually handled in person. But they're stupid expensive, and after wearing them for a long time and trying to really break them in, I realized that they're simply too narrow for my feet. Now, everybody says that leather boots or sneakers will stretch out over time, so even if they feel snug at first, they'll become comfortable as you break them in. This is only partially true. In reality, leather only stretches a few millimeters max. You can't expect a sneaker that's too short or too narrow to stretch out enough to really accommodate your foot. So if it doesn't feel roomy enough when you first try it on, it's probably too small or just the wrong shoe for you. This was the case for me with these Margiela GATs. Actually, the length is fine, but they're just too narrow. It's too bad because I think the design is awesome. They're a really cool alternative to like your plain minimalist white sneaker. If they came in a wider width, I'd probably wear them a lot, but they're just too slim, too narrow through the toe box, and that's that. By the way, if anybody wants to buy these, I'll give you a good deal, so hit me up. Regret number 9, a tan wool topcoat. So I had this one dark gray topcoat or overcoat from Banana Republic. I wore it a lot when I was commuting to a business casual office job in Washington, D.C., where it gets pretty cold during the winter. I love that coat. I actually still have it. So I figured I'd double down and get another one from the same brand, Banana Republic, in a different color. And tan or camel seemed like a nice complementary color. The fit of this jacket was solid, just like the dark gray one. I had the sleeve shortened. It was a wool blend, but felt high quality enough. What I found though was every time I opened my closet, I ended up reaching for the gray coat and not the tan one. There was something about the tan color that just didn't work for me. It was almost like it was too much. It looked great on other people, looked great on the hanger. I just didn't like the way that I looked in it. And the thing is, I didn't actually need 2 overcoats. The dark gray one worked with any outfit. I eventually donated the tan one, and like I said, I still have the gray one. Obviously, it barely ever gets worn here in Arizona. Regret number 10, this hat. Now, here's the thing. I don't look good in hats. Like any hats, I look goofy in any type of hat. And this includes the simple baseball cap. I remember seeing the polo bear hat and wanting one so bad. I just wanted that laid-back dad hat aesthetic. I felt like it fit my personality. And so, knowing full well that I've never been happy wearing a baseball cap, I went into the Ralph Lauren store in New York and I bought this one full retail. Not that it's like crazy expensive or anything, but still. And guess what? It looks dumb on me. I still wore it quite a bit for about a year, especially when I was growing my hair out and I just needed something to hide the awkwardness and shame. And to be fair, I think that's the best I've ever looked wearing a hat is when I had longer hair. Hats just look cool with some wavy hair spilling out from underneath them. But I still never felt comfortable wearing this hat because it's a hat. And I've pretty much given up on baseball caps unless I really need one, like if I'm going to be out in the sun for a long time. I rationalize this by telling myself, you have pretty good hair. Why should you hide it with a hat? But it's really just acceptance that hats are one accessory I can't really pull off. And yeah, I still have it. Let's talk about some lessons learned. So despite the title of this video, I actually don't really regret these purchases. Yes, I did lose a bit of money, but I learned some valuable lessons too. Number 1, fit is the most important aspect of style. If a jacket or a pair of glasses doesn't fit the way you want it to, don't buy it. Nothing else really matters as much as fit, and it's okay to be very picky about this. Lesson 2, comfort is key. Some boot styles just don't work well for your feet. Don't expect tight sneakers to stretch. If your lifestyle has you chasing around little kids, your kids, not other people's, maybe raw denim isn't the right move for you. And by you, I mean me. 3, don't settle. If something fits you but you don't like the color, don't buy it. If you like the color but it doesn't fit, don't buy it. Don't buy anything just because it's on sale. When considering a purchase, it should either be a hell yes or a no. 4, trust your gut. If you buy something and you wear it a few times but it just never really feels right, that's fine. It doesn't matter what the internet thinks or what's trendy, just trust your instincts. And number 5, let go. Don't hold on to stuff just because you paid money for it. If you don't actually wear it, you should donate it or try to sell it. Like this hat, it's haunting me every time I see it. I'm full of regret. Do as I say, not as I do, and let these things go. But I want to hear from you. What's one thing that you bought that you regret, and do you still have it? Let me know down in the comments section. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time, stay stylish.